Concept-era business opportunities are experienced just as the Chinese people are complacent about the national policy of family planning, which has resulted in 400 million fewer births in China. The aging population has advanced by 23%. 10 years will come. At the end of 2006, the population of elderly people aged 60 and above in China reached 149 million. Experts predict that it will reach 325 million by 2030, accounting for 21.9% of the total population. The typical 4+2+1, where a young couple has to support 4 elderly people and 1 child family structure, structural shortage of labor force, and insufficient social security income are the numerous challenges brought about by aging, which force structural adjustments at all levels of society. And the most crucial one is the transformation of thinking mode under the transition of old and new. The older generation thinks with the left brain. The left brain belongs to logic, rationality, utilitarianism, personal experience, analysis and calculation. The brain processes information in a time-dependent, sequential, and either-or directed manner. Therefore, the left brain almost represents the rule, institutionalization, standardization and mass production, which is just in line with the rules of the industrial age, bringing about the efficiency of collectivism, and also making focusing on big things and pragmatism the most typical way of thinking of the left brain. From the rule of holding chopsticks in the right hand, the arrangement of multiple choice questions on machine reading cards, to the efficiency of Fordism and the scientific worship of industrial civilization. The products under left brain thinking almost control the past. And in that year generation, left brain control has its inevitability. Firstly, in the early stages of industrialization, the market's ability to allocate resources was weak, and it could only rely on administrative means to concentrate efforts on major tasks to achieve national street rateages. Secondly, the accumulation of primitive capital relies on careful calculation, rationality rather than sensibility, science rather than intuition, and the consolidation of the foundation of the real economy through standardized production based on efficiency rather than the construction of a utopia. Therefore, industrial civilization itself is a civilization dominated by the left brain, and rationality and science are the two of them great magic weapon. But now the situation has made the premise of the era of left brain control gradually fade. Firstly, see computerization, miniaturization. Conspiracy theory that directed the currency war is easy to control readers in thinking and satisfy their curiosity about mysteries. However, the success of commercial operation cannot hide the defect of its logical derivation. That is, it regards finance as the core of national strategy, and regards national strategy and enterprise strategy as the main contradiction of financial problems. It believes that this is the bullnose that governs financial and capital movements. The weight of conspiracy is gradually increased under this logical derivation. Conspiracy is characterized by suddenness, uncertainty, and unknowability. As a result, It is either a hammer or an anvil. Therefore, as long as the financial air supremacy is mastered, you can play with other governments and banks at will and plunder their wealth, thus integrating finance and cons. Piracy elevating to an unparalleled and supreme position gives the impression that countries are subject to others without engaging in finance, while engaging in finance is like plotting. This is a false proposition, and its arrogance violates the great taboo in the Chon Ji horse rachi. Ng, who would use their own bad horses to confront the rise of developed countries. The core of the national financial strategy is to take a distinctive differentiated path, give full play to the asymmetric advantage of resources, and avoid path dependence to turn air supremacy into self-destructive power. The characteristic of the theory of financial original sin is to deconstruct the new economic civilization based on the qualitative analysis of the times and to address the confusion in the state of order, conduct holographic full-dimensional research on various variables, attempting to find regular factors and provide new analytical coordinates for solving complex situations. In view of this, the FOCA think tank believes that finance is a comprehensive manifestation of competition among countries, and at least politics, culture, technology, national security, international relations, etc. are also affecting the operation of finance, and there are not many conspiracies involved. With the increasing efforts of various countries to rescue the market, the dilemma of deleveraging while also amplifying liquidity has emerged. For example, major countries have allocated trillions of dollars in emergency aid each year, which seems to have increased unabated and may lead to untreated old wounds and new diseases. And with the continuous evaporation of currency, the original sin of finance has been playing a role. This book is an excerpt from Foucault analysis published since, as a specialized service for government departments and enterprises. The internal research report provides decision-making support focusing on objective, neutral, and empirical analysis, interpretation, and ND analysis. Therefore, the articles are all based on economic reality as the research starting point, although they are independent. The casino-like future of financial derivatives. Another surprising move. On the last day before the National Day holiday in China Securities Regulatory Commission, it will be announced that the pilot work of securities companies' margin trading and short selling will be launched. Or it has been brewing for a long time and can be expected. The timing is completely contrary to the current world trend. After all, developed countries are using restrictions on short selling to cope with financial collapse. After all, as a kind of financial derivatives, after the subprime mortgage crisis exposed the fraud and destructiveness of derivatives, the bankruptcy of Lehman caused countless investors to lose all their money and exposed the nature of zero-sum game and gambling of derivatives, which almost the product has been pushed into the abyss of eternal doom. And it seems that compared to human rational needs used for hedging and pricing, it is more catering to people's greedy desires. Obviously, China's launch of margin trading and securities lending at this time inevitably raises concerns about its future role in the stock market and even the economy. Under the global financial crackdown, people often have excessive vigilance and insufficient understanding towards financial derivatives. Draw elephant excess. Specific deficiency. The crisis has fully demonstrated the double-edged sword effect of financial innovation, but in essence it is the expression of the original sin of the market economy embedded in financial activities, and it is the normal stage of the development of the market economy. The so-called original sin refers to the surplus caused by the production of market economy entities for exchange, and the surplus needs to evaporate. Firstly, the emergence of early financial derivatives such as futures, certificates of deposit, and European bonds, although either for hedging, risk avoidance, or financial regulation avoidance, was mainly due to the inability of normal investment opportunities to provide a way out for the large amount of capital accumulated by industry and commerce at that time. It was the relatively excess currency that stimulated financial speculative activities. On the other hand, the data shows that at present, percent of the global liquidity is caused by derivatives trading every day, and the scale of the global derivatives market has reached 2 times of the global GDP. Financial speculation deals for trading, further exacerbating the degree of excess, but also planting the seeds of evaporation. Because financial innovation has its special rules. When the capacity is increasing, the player's psychological fluctuations are becoming more and more intense, and it is extremely difficult to balance their grasp of. The financial civilization itself is also undergoing mutation and development, especially in the past years, where the world's finance has been changing and unpredictable against the backdrop of the lingering capital. Financial civilization is increasingly showing its power. First of all, financial civilization gradually transcends industrial civilization, and its laws are completely different from the law of value of industrial civilization. When financial civilization knocks at the door, many people familiar with the laws of traditional industrial civilization are realize later and use the wrong rules of industrial civilization to calculate. The result missed out on the benefits bestowed by financial civilization. LTCM, a hedge fund company managed by Nobel laureates who are proficient in the most complex risk products and models, fell on the eve of financial civilization, and billion arbitrage funds were wiped out. When the British Chancellor of the Exchequer was about to rise in the price of gold, he mistakenly estimated the situation and left more than half of Britain's gold reserve at the lowest point in years, which caused the British government to lose at least £1 billion, leading the Parliament to ask him to settle accounts in the autumn. Secondly, financial civilization has high requirements for the quality of other civilizations grafted onto it. If they can match each other, it will have a significant amplification effect on the achievements of other civilizations. Otherwise, reverse results will occur. In Former British Prime Minister Thatcher keenly seized the key to the financial explosion and implemented a major transformation of the securities market, creating a new City of London and ushering in a new era of British finance. On the contrary, the Japanese version of the financial explosion backfired, not only failing to unleash vitality in Japanese finance, but also plunging it into numerous crises. The root cause is a lack of understanding of the special laws of financial civilization. Currently, a new wave of financial civilization is quietly hitting the Asian coast. But the panic of the financial crisis, these old experiences have deeply rooted in people's hearts, making people from all walks of life afraid of what is about to happen. Southeast Asian countries that have experienced the financial crisis are typical representatives, and they have strong vigilance against the current global liquidity surplus and asset price rise. Many countries have already started deploying in late and early such as Vietnam, the Philippines, Thailand, India, etc., which have strengthened financial regulations in advance. In order to mitigate the risk of capital flight, Thailand even resorted to government intervention, which was counterproductive, while opposition to free currency floating suddenly